Applause to our DJ tonight, DJ Tika Masala. She got us going. To the right of me, I have our ASL interpreters from Vinman Barber. Give them also a round of applause, like this. All right. Who's first time at the DisCo? First time. Ooh, I have some returning guests. I'm really excited about this. So I am required to tell you what the DisCo is. So DisCo is my talk show. It's like The View after a really bad accident. And DisCo stands for Disability Community. DISCEO. DisCo. Why? Because we are the fucking party. So I actually pitched this show as a pilot to Amazon. They heard about the idea. They went to create the pilot. We shot the pilot. The pilot was amazing. We pitched it, they watched it, and they passed. And when they passed, they sent me the greatest rejection email of all time. I have the email. You cannot make this up. They literally said, "We're just not doing anything outside the box right now." The box company sent the comedian an email saying they weren't doing anything outside the box. I should have dressed up as Katy Perry's shark. Okay, so DisCo is traveling all over the world. We shot the first episode here at Joe's Pub. Thank you, Joe's Pub. It was a Valentine's episode where we talked about love. They did a poll. 80% of Americans said they would not date a disabled person. And then they also said that disabled people are 20% of the population. So apparently we're the only ones that are down to date us. Like there's a live fish in the sea, but none of them want to date Nemo. This episode is about pride. It's all about the intersection of LGBTQ plus and being disabled. Two things that have nothing to do with each other. Right? No? Okay. I'm very disappointed in you all. You can both be disabled and LGBTQ+, and we wanted to do a Pride episode to highlight that intersection. So tonight, in addition to listening to our amazing panel discuss these issues, we want you all to participate. So the last 15 minutes of the show, I love your... Whoa! Is everybody okay? Yeah. That was really scary. That's the elevator, and there was a wheelchair on it or a walker, so I'm pretty worried. Okay. Also tell them the clock is missing, and I have no idea what time it is, and they need to turn it on. So they just told me fill time while they fix the lift. So I got back from Albania last night. Has anyone ever been to Albania? It's exceptional. It's actually one of the greatest places ever. So tonight we have an amazing, amazing lineup of people. But also the last 15 minutes of the show, we want you to ask us anything. This is your chance in life to ask a disabled person whatever you want, or if you're a disabled person, you want to ask out the disabled person, since apparently no one else wants to date us, you could do that. How we feeling, Lemma? We ready? Okay, we're feeling good. That was amazing. Like the Palestinian chick is sitting on stage. First of all, there's a train that's constantly going over my head that's giving me PTSD because I'm like, drone, what the hell? Then I'm a disabled chick and the lift breaks with like one of my disabled people on it, and I think, no problem, they're disabled anyway. Are you all ready to welcome my disabled co-hosts, the divas joining me tonight? Are you ready? Welcome to the DisCo. Coming to the stage the very first time is a multiple award nominated, incredible actor. You've seen him in The Politician. He just finished the run in La Cage aux Folles. Give it up for my fellow Seep, Ryan J. Haddad. Oh, look, he's like floating up. It's so cool. I love this thing. Boom. That sound is not shocking at all. Yes. Watch your head. That was kind of crazy. Awesome. Hi, Ryan. Ryan and I are a stunning example of people with the same disability can actually have different stuff. I think it's called comorbidities. I'm also neurodivergent. Are you anything else?
I don't know. I think there are things that are undiagnosed. And so I just sort of embrace what might be
But
without investigating it.
But when you decide to have CP, it was specifically because I inspired you?
Yes, I was in the incubator at 3 days old or whatever, and I just thought,
Maysoon.
what's the best life possible for me? And then my fairy godmother Maysoon came down
And smothered you.
and said, we will deprive the oxygen so that you have a very interesting life.
The gift that kept on giving. Ryan, should we bring some other people to join us?
I think so.
Okay, I'm really excited about my next co-host. So every episode of the DisCo, I have one of my many assistants on stage with me because I am chaotic and I feel really lost without them. But also, all of my assistants are disabled, and I was like, which one of you is also LGBTQ? And they all raised their hands, and I was like, you can't, no, it has to be one. And so, coming to the stage, we have an extraordinary singer, a multi-talented Renaissance artist, Ariel Bridges. Woo! Not her. Ariel's coming from this way. Run! Run, Ariel! Woo! Don't run! Don't run! She's in it. Yeah, please don't run. Yes, that's okay. Leap across the stairs. Ariel Bridges! Ariel, well, you look fine. I'm disabled about you.
I know, what a great question. So I happen to have a series of diseases, fun. I have endometriosis, I have adenomyosis, I also have uterine fibroids, and then Maysoon mentioned the lovely buzzword of comorbidity, so that also gives me fun things like hypermobility spectrum disorder and overactive bladder. So got a fun,
we have several
mix.
overactive bladders on this stage.
That with you.
Yes.
Meanwhile, like I can hold it in for like 12 hours because I'm old, and like in Hollywood, you weren't allowed to take breaks, so they would shoot us for 12 hours straight, and if you peed, you got fired.
Oh man.
Yeah, we had no rights. It was kind of like now. Okay, we got one more fabulous diva joining us for this Pride episode. I did not pay attention to the credits that she gave me because I also have like 87 comorbidities, none of which I knew about until my very young assistants diagnosed me. But I have CP, and I also don't pay attention to anything. I'm neurodivergent, and I am inherently mean. So like whatever disability makes you inherently a bad fucking person, that is me. Coming up to the stage, I found her through our mutual friend, Anna Packman, and watched her incredible work on YouTube where she channels a chorus line and does it better than anyone I've ever seen it. Give it up for Mackenzie Gomez.
Yes.
Woo! Woo!
Absolutely.
Love it. And look at this.
Jenny.
Yes. Give it up for my other assistant, Jenny, who diagnosed me. She just ran off stage. She was like, "You're not well." Mackenzie.
Hi.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Oh my God, how much time do you have?
No, I just want the disability list.
Yeah.
And we're doing comorbidities.
Yes.
So, Ryan, we need to diagnose by the end. Ariel is the queen of OSIS. I would like to know about your disabilities.
Yeah, we have something in common. Shocker. But I also
Shots?
have, I have hypermobile spectrum disorder.
Yes.
Which I'm actually getting tested next month for all of the EDSs. So
That's on my list. It's on my to-do list. Yeah.
So for now, it's just hypermobile spectrum disorder. But I also have POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, and sleep apnea, and all kinds of yes, CPAP machine, best sleep of my life, and yeah, all kinds of comorbidities that come with my joints dislocating whenever they want to.
And you're faking the whole wheelchair thing because I've seen you walk.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell
I can
us
walk.
about why you do these horrifying things.
Yeah, I am. Well, I like to say I'm dynamically disabled, so I have my mobility ranges day to day. Sometimes I use a cane around my house. Usually, I use my crutches sometimes when I'm out and about. But to get around this stupid city, I use my wheelchair a lot, and especially to dance again, I started using my wheelchair.
Bravo. So stupid is an ableist word, and instead we like to call it a garbage trash town.
Garbage trash.
Yeah, or you could just say GTT, garbage trash town. I just feel good about that. There's an election coming up. Do we have thoughts about the New York City election, fellow New Yorkers? I'm not from here. I'm from Palestine.
Send my ballot in.
Don't rank
Right?
Cuomo.
Yeah, just don't rank Cuomo.
Just don't rank Cuomo. That's what we're
Don't
saying.
rank Cuomo.
I am not a non-for-profit organization, and I am allowed to discuss politics. I mean, I don't get to vote in New York City, but I would rank Mira Nair's son. I can't remember his name, but Mira Nair's son. Zoran.
Absolutely.
Zoran.
Yeah.
If you've never seen Mississippi Masala and all the rest of her movies, she's quite amazing. Okay, so do you live in New York City?
I do. I live in Brooklyn.
Do you live in New York City?
I do. Hell's Kitchen.
You.
I do. I live in Queens.
What is the most difficult? Yeah. Okay, we got Queens,
Yes,
Brooklyn,
Queens.
and Manhattan. And you know what? Whatever. Staten Island, because Jersey's the same thing. Like, I could take it over in a heartbeat. They don't really have much of an army. What's the hardest part of living in New York City as a disabled person? And what's the best part of living in New York City? Full circle, starting with Ariel.
I was literally having this thought not this exact thought, but I was thinking on the train today because, again, like you mentioned when I came out, I don't look like really anything's wrong with me, and I happen to be...
Are you saying that we're wrong?
What?
Something's wrong with me?
No.
Like I look wrong to people?
No, not at all. You said, what did you say? You look normal? Are you saying you don't look normal?
No, dude, I look freakish. I have Palestinian flags on my eyeballs that kind of look like I might be bleeding out at this exact moment. But no, as someone, with
as
an
someone
invisible.
As someone who doesn't have any visible signs to pointing that they may need some additional assistance, I am actively in a flare-up right now. I was literally on horizontal all day until I got here. And I was on the train sitting because I really needed to sit. And I was thinking, I'm like, you don't always get a seat on the train. And it's like kind of tough sometimes when people think like, oh, or like, why are you sitting? Why aren't you offering a seat? That can be really hard sometimes.
Did that ever, as a performer and also, someone who might have to do television, the show must go on.
Right.
How have you navigated that as an artist?
It's something that I feel like is a journey that I'm still on, because what I continue to learn is I'm able to push to a point, but then my body gives me a very hard and clear stop. And I've recognized that if I don't get ahead of it, then it's worse for me down the line. Like, it's like, okay, I'm gonna flare. I know that's a part of my life, but if I can use my tools and adapt and try and get ahead of it instead of just powering through, which sometimes the show does have to go on, there's a time and a place, but if I can try and manage it, then it's better for me on the other side.
Mackenzie, what
Yeah.
do you love about this city? What do you hate about this city?
Oh boy, yeah. What I love and hate kind of overlap a little bit. I love that I can living in Brooklyn, I can take a bus from Brooklyn to Manhattan. The BM 1, 2, 3, and 4 stop very close to my apartment. So that's great. However, I hate it because ever since I moved to this neighborhood in Brooklyn, the bus drivers do not know how to operate the wheelchair lift. And so every single time I have to teach them, and then all of the other people on the bus are all mad because they're gonna be late to work, but I can't get into the city otherwise. If I took the train, sometimes the elevators are out. So there's just a lot more that I have to think about before I leave the house.
How do you know the other people are mad?
Oh, they tell me.
See, that's when you have to look them dead in the eye and go, just remember, you're one little accident away from being just like me.
Oh, yeah.
And then stare at them really wonky and be like, that's my evil eye.
Yeah, no, I've definitely, some days, depends on how I'm feeling that day, but I definitely will clap back. Honestly, all I have to say is, yeah, you're upset, try being me, and then they shut up. So, because being disabled is their biggest fear, even though it's coming for you,
See, this is another, statistics are all false unless they come at me, but this is another stat, is that people would rather be dead than disabled, which I understand because they constantly tell me, I would kill myself if I was you.
Got that one before.
What do you love and hate about this shitty city?
Oh, wow.
You're from Ohio, right?
I am from Ohio.
So everything is better here.
I love that I'm steps away from the theater district in the Broadway.
What's
show.
the best play you saw this year that wasn't yours?
The best play I saw this year
Can be a musical.
can be a musical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very flexible on these things.
I really loved Maybe Happy Ending.
Oh, I loved Happy Ending.
Yeah, it was really special. And given the events of right now, today, and my dear son Tusi's Iranian play, English, was really a very special
What is that?
piece. It was a play called English, and it's about
English.
4 students in an adult English immigration class. They have to be able to pass the test to it's called the TOEFL, and they have to be able to pass it in order to leave Iran. Oh, it was billed as a comedy, but as you know, the world on the inside and on the outside colored the events of the play. Yeah.
Wow.
And my least favorite thing is the transportation. I'm going to echo what Mackenzie said. Some people buy designer clothes. Some people buy shoes. Some people, take trips everywhere. I just get in cars to be able to survive.
Yeah.
I Uber and Lyft because I live on the edge of Manhattan between 10th and 11th, and so then, the nearest subway is 8th Avenue. I don't want to go and get stuck in the elevator. Also, I walk with a walker, which is somewhere, it's right behind me. And so the distance of walking through the subways, let alone whether or not they actually work, makes it so that by the time I get to the place I'm going, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
So I just choose to hemorrhage money by taking cars. And someday I'd love to be utterly rich and just have a driver who shows up whenever I want them. But we're not there yet, so I have to deal with the lovely taxi, Uber, and Lyft people of the city, most of whom, not all, are very kind, and then the few who aren't, I have to put my foot down and say, I really need your help, and get where I'm going.
I think you would have a lot more wealth if it wasn't so expensive being disabled.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people look at my career and they're like, but what's happening? And I'm like, well, what's happening is $1,000 a month of insurance, every single copay in the world. In my case, I'm from Jersey, so none of the bus stops have seating. None. I can't take the buses because there's no seating. And
meaning in Jersey they don't have seating? Is that what you mean?
here in New York City, there's not a single bus stop that has a seat. So, like, that whole strip on 57th, that would take me, like, where I need to go, 48th, all that. There's no seating on the bus stops because they want to deprive the unhoused people from any comfort. So while we torture the unhoused people, that means there's no seats. And like we were talking about, with me, I can walk, I can dance. If I stand for even a minute, I fall down. I can't stand. So all of public transportation is all about standing. And like so I have to drive. I'm a driver. And Ariel's constantly helping me pay outstanding parking tickets because there's no disabled parking, no disabled parking lots, no breaks for parking in Price, nothing to assist us in parking in the city. And now we have the congestion tax. And like, I'm a Broadway baby too, so like none of my work is above 57th Street. It's all from like 57th to Houston, and I try to avoid it, but below. And so I'm paying tolls, I'm paying congestion taxes, I'm parking. None of the parking is anywhere near where I need to go. And then I'm an ambulatory wheelchair user because my body's like, hey, I don't like it being cold. And my bank account's like, hey, you can't be a snowbird. And, so it's very, very, very expensive commuting. It's very expensive for me, and I do it all the time. And like today I got Rockstar Street parking. I was all excited, and I was like, it's because my show didn't sell out. But I am so grateful for all of my audience, even though I'm terrible at promoting. Mackenzie, you were telling me that your eyeshadow is symbolic, much like mine.
Yes, it is.
Mine is symbolizing the genocide and mass disabling event of children using our tax dollars. What are your eyes talking about?
That I like to sleep with women.
Tell
Lesbian
us
flag.
more. Yeah.
The lesbian flag,
Tell us more. So, you were born disabled or you became disabled?
Jury's still out. But I only started considering myself disabled in the past 5 years. But
Which came first, the gay or the crip?
The gay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that like? Was that fun? Was it hard with your family? Was there a thing?
Yeah, it was a huge thing. Yeah. I come from a very religious family, very, very
Catholic?
No, my parents were both raised Catholic, and then they thought they were, hit by converting to being just Christian, not Catholic.
Like just vague Christian?
Yes,
Or like
Protestant.
Jehovah's Witness?
No, not that, but
we love all
Protestant.
religions. Nobody's looking down on anyone.
Except when they came knocking on my door recently. That was very invasive.
Jesus Christ. God just took my mic away, so be nice. Yeah. And I said, Jesus Christ, because he's Palestinian. Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, but anyways, I didn't come out as queer until I was 26. And
Was that because they were conservative or because you were figuring it out?
Mostly because they were conservative and I was raised that way. And then became an adult and couldn't do it anymore. Had to break up with a boyfriend of
Why? What
5
was
years.
the worst part of being with a dude?
Ooh.
I'm like Dolly Parton. I'm Cher. I'm like the straight ultimate ally, and I don't want to be this way. I was born this way.
Oh God, I don't. There's nothing wrong with men. I'm just not. It was boring.
Non-attraction.
I wasn't attracted. Yeah, like I don't know. It was very, very confusing time for me. But like I was really much exploring when I was that time when I started to come out. I didn't know if I was bi. I didn't know what was happening. And as I deconstructed my religion, I also deconstructed what society taught me about sexuality. And yeah, once I went on like a date with a woman, I was like, oh, never mind. Definitely a lesbian.
Where was your first date?
I don't remember.
You know, the first date with a woman, you don't remember?
I don't remember where we went. Some bar.
What do you remember? What do you remember about it?
I just remember that it was easy, but also I was way more nervous than any date.
She was easy or it was easy?
The date was easy. Maybe she was. I wasn't. Yeah, but no, just like I was so much more nervous going on a date with a woman than any man. Whenever I was dating men, it was like easy because it was I knew the formula. I knew it was like a performance for me. It was like an act. And being an actor, nice. I don't know. Now that I've like looked back, it wasn't a conscious choice at the time. But yeah, dating women, it was more exciting, and I was actually attracted to them. So,
what was your like? Did you have like a gay awakening moment, or like a celebrity when you were a kid or something?
Okay, so yes, I mean, looking back now that I know I'm gay, there's so many. But the moment that I was like, I have to break up with this guy. This is not working anymore. For my 26th birthday, he bought me tickets. He brought us tickets to go see The Prom on Broadway.
Oh, my God. He was like, darling.
And I was just, like, crying the entire show, seeing these, like, sweet little high school lesbians falling in love and all of the religious trauma and everything. And still took me about a month or two before I actually broke up with him, but he was shocked. I don't know how.
Ariel, you're married to a man, but you don't shave your armpits. Discuss.
Wait, actually, this is so. It's really funny. Something that I wonder a lot about is like it's like a chicken egg scenario. I'm like, are people like in LGBTQIA plus community, and so they tend to have these like little signifiers or markers, or is it like the other way around? But the reason I don't shave my armpits is actually another thing that I have something called hidradenitis suppurativa. And so what that is, it's like it's another kind of disease, and so I get like really painful, itchy armpits. And so I don't shave them because
you're not normal.
Right, because I'm not. It gives me flare-ups.
Because you're special, sorry.
Yeah, I'm special. So that's actually why I don't shave them. But it's really funny because my husband, he was like, do you want me to come? Like, I'm scared you're going to go on stage and say, like, I, like, regret being with a guy. Like, why am I, like, like, what is it, like... but that's not the case. And I identify as omnisexual, which I feel like a lot of people... I
have no idea what that means. Please define.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like a lot of people don't really know about it. It's like, in my head, I think of it as like a square rectangle situation where it like falls under the umbrella of like bisexual. But if you're bisexual, you're not necessarily omnisexual, but everyone that's omnisexual is technically bisexual. Anyways.
What's the difference between pan and omni?
A great question.
Thank you.
Yes. So people that are pansexual, it's just like about the vibes. They love everybody. They're like, you know what? I'm into people. And for omnisexual, we're also about the vibes, but we recognize gender and it can play a role in our preferences. Yeah.
So what was your awakening moment? Because you asked Mackenzie.
So there's like kind of two. Like when I was like a really little kid, I saw a production of Peter Pan, and Kathy Rigby was playing.
Musical theater is fucking up American youth. Everyone on this stage would be wearing a red cap and behaving right if it wasn't for musical theater. We got the prom, we got Peter Pan. Talk to me about this.
Yeah,
girl
but
dressed
I was
as a
like
guy?
I was like a really little kid, so I was really into who I thought was Peter Pan, and my mom was like, "That's a girl," and I was like, "Huh." That's confusing. But I was like really little then, but I feel like my real one is like, I'm a millennial, so I'm really into like Disney Channel movies. And there was one called Motocrossed. Okay, so the premise, yes, thank you. The premise of Motocross is there's this family of, they do biking, whatever it's called, I don't know, motorcycles.
Motocross.
Yeah, yeah, it's like
is
they
what it's
ride
called.
motorcycles or whatever.
Yeah.
The brother gets injured, and so his sister steps in to pretend to be him. So she goes through a whole transformation. She cuts her hair, like she does this whole thing, and I was like, this is kind of confusing. Like her brother's hot, but like she's hot as her brother, but also kind of like, yeah. So that is really when I should have known. But after that, I still was just like, oh yeah, I'm just straight-ish is how I identified. But it took me a long time to even realize there was something, because I was like, my preferences feel so specific that I was like, I kind of just rounded up. I was like, oh, like I'm mostly straight. So that's what I'll say, and that's how I identified.
That's how it starts.
That's how it starts. Yeah, that's how straight-ish is, came to be. But
Ryan, what musical made you gay?
All of them.
Is that Alejandra? Hi.
Is that Alejandra? Tell us.
I think it was well, as I want to say gypsy, because it's on gypsy. Because I wanted to play I wanted to be Mama Rose at like age 12, and that's a little young to play Mama Rose. Forget the gender and all of that stuff, but I was like, I had kids and they wronged me, and so I was like, that was sort of part of it. But if I go back even earlier, I think it was Annie. Annie and Oliver are these two ones about the orphans, but I never cared about the boy orphan. I thought Oliver was so boring. But Annie all the versions of Annie were very important to me, and I think now I most identify with Miss Hannigan. But back then I identified with Annie herself. And when I was 13, my family put on our final Head Ed theater production was Andy instead of Annie, and I got to play it at the community
Did
center.
you get to wear like an orange, like big wig?
No, I was the director, costumer. I was everything, and I was
Bob's Burgers.
and I was really not into sort of gender fluidity of the characters that I was playing. So I definitely just wore black dress pants and a red shirt, which is so boring thinking back now. And there was no wig. But I was like, I'm Annie, but a boy,
But the wig was necessary, and a boy could. So, Ryan, I have another question for you. You're also an Arab, like I'm Palestinian.
I am, yes.
You're Lebanese. Arabs throw gay people off roofs. Discuss.
That is, that is a stereotype, which I suppose for some is true, but for me it never was.
Did you have no issues as a young Arab boy having to come out like the ones that Mackenzie faced? Because I think it's really interesting. The panel is intersectional. We don't have a white devil with us tonight, but they would be welcome. They would be welcome. The DisCo, disability doesn't discriminate, right? Doesn't care what color you are, so they're welcome at all times. But like as a young Arab man, was it stressful coming out? Did you fear for your life? What did you feel like growing up?
I think I internalized a lot of it. I'm third generation, so my grandparents were born in the United States, 2 immigrant parents on both sides of my family. And so I think that generationally in my family, I also have queer aunts and uncles, one each on both sides that I know of. Well, no, two uncles because they're partnered, but that I know of also, because I think that there were hidden queer people too that earlier that didn't name it or act on it or whatever. But even though I could see the way that my family treated my mom's sister and my dad's first cousin, I basically assumed that it wouldn't be okay. And my parents were not super devoutly religious. We went to church, 5 to 7 times a year, maybe 10 on a good year. But we would go to the Arab Syrian Orthodox Church. I mean, it was like, and there were all these brown men, all of whom I thought were really hot, but none of them, but then there would be the one that was like dancing with their hips a little this way, and I was like, that one is gay. And that was that was me trying to be like, I'm not, but they are, And so I think, I remember.
You were like, I'm palsy, they're gay.
Yeah, Mom, he's gay. Like, and yet 3 years later, I was having to sort of face it and tell my parents. And the first thing my parents said, my dad is a dentist with gambling tendencies, recreational gambling tendencies, that is also, I'm told, vaguely stereotypical of our culture. Yeah.
We love AC. Yes.
And so he's around all these like guys who are like, put an 8 on the 4 to the 2 or whatever any of that means. And I just was really nervous and scared. And I think I said the words in anger. Some homophobic joke had been made. I can't remember what it was. And I said, I am always so angry. It's because you say things like that, and because I'm gay. Silence, silence, silence. And then the first thing Bob had said was, you're our son, and we'll love you no matter what. Mm-hmm. And my mother too. And then they went away and came back, and then we had a 3-hour long discussion about that was filled with humorous and vaguely inappropriate things, in which they needed to process their emotions and ask the questions that they needed to ask. But their gut reaction was, you're ours, and it doesn't matter. And that has stayed true for the last 17 years.
That's amazing. That's really nice.
Love you, Bob and Judy.
But your dad's name is Bob.
Mm-hmm.
So is mine.
Yeah. Dad's named Bob.
Is your dad named Bob?
No.
Okay. Mine is Moses, which is, of course, the name of any Palestinian dad, Musa. So I did ask Ryan backstage. I was like, I'm going to throw the Arabs throw gay people off roofs at you, because I am so sick and tired of hearing this when people justify genocide. There's been a lot of what we call pinkwashing, and pinkwashing is when you excuse crimes against humanity, dehumanization, violence, by saying, but these people are really bad to gay people. And what I found is incredible solidarity between the queer LGBTQ community and the anti-genocide community. I think that we're very clear on the fact that, like, all oppression needs to unite against supremacy. Fascism comes for disability first. And when I look around this stage and I see people who are not just disabled, but disabled people of color, we are on the front lines of this. And what I have seen is the intersection has created an immense amount of solidarity. And the reality is the number one killer of gay people in the Middle East and LGBTQ plus identifying people in the Middle East is bombs. That is what's happening. So let's keep working together to stop what's happening, which is at the forefront of the work that I do. So I hop between Palestine and Jersey, or like I like to say Jersey and Jerusalem because I have a thing about JER. I have no idea why. but we are living through a mass disabling event. And I'm constantly saying, like, this has to stop. And people are like, but you're proud to be disabled. What's so bad about everyone else becoming disabled? And all I can say is, like, we can balance both. We can be proud and vocal and discuss our invisible disabilities and deal with our visible ones and put a walker behind us and not do anything that harms us and use mobility devices because they make us more independent and living in less pain. And we can also say no to cousin love. You don't need to breed a kid with a tail. So, like, both things can be true. Time is, what just happened?
It took me a minute to get there.
It just registered for all of us. Yeah.
But I was like, wait.
We don't get the script ahead of time, so.
There is no script, kids. There's just an
But I also think
angry.
it's also just saying, like, yes, we're proud to be disabled, and yet you don't need to cause violence and harm to other people and make them disabled through violence. And it's like, we're not hoping for pain for
Right.
anybody. Oh, they lost a limb. That was so fun. They loved
was
losing
so
a limb.
fun.
It's like,
Woohoo,
what?
join us.
Oh my God, did you see who became a wheelchair user? Like, we're
Yeah.
not like that. But what we are saying is that you can join us at any time because disability does not discriminate. So we really want to get to Q&A. But before we can, I have to do a speed round. Are you in a relationship
Yes, I am.
with?
Diana, I've been with her for almost 5 years.
Wow. 5 years. What's the best thing about Diana?
That she is the complete opposite of me, does not like being in the spotlight. I questioned even if I should say her first name.
Oh, God.
So we're complete opposites.
And Ariel, I already discussed that you were married. How'd you meet your husband?
We met in college. So we have been together. It's really funny because everyone like gasped really big when you were like, I was like, oh, he thought, what if you say you regret being with him or whatever? And everyone was like, oh, that's like so silly and preposterous, which is why I shared it. We've been together for like 11 and a half years or something. So that's, that's not even a thing. But we met in college is how we met.
Can I
How
ask a
many
question?
years?
Yeah.
Sorry, how many years marriage?
We've been married for 2 years. We got married on our 9th anniversary.
Oh, wow, nice. I was married for 10 and now I'm divorced, and divorce rules is the best. I highly recommend it, Ariel.
Well,
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Don't get married. It's a racket. Terrible. What was your question for Ariel, right?
Yes, if you're okay, so if you're straightish but in the queer family,
I'm omni, yeah.
yeah. Was it? What is it like to then? I'm making assumptions, but if your partner is straight, are you having to then negotiate that with like a guy? You know what I mean? Who isn't necessarily part of the queer community himself.
That's such an interesting and good question. So we've been together for so long that he's actually been he was like a big part of me pushing to figure out, like, to actually define how I identified. So he's like the best ally. So there were no negotiations, and for me it was always like figuring out how I identified for me didn't really change anything. Like, I'm like, oh, I found my person, like nothing changes that for me personally. And he already loves me regardless or whatever. So it was just like, oh, now I'm happy that you have decided to figure this out, and now we know.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Right after I got divorced, I did the thing where I was like, am I actually attracted to men because I was told I had to be? And then I was like, wait, I was actually told not to even look at guys when I was growing up. So, like, I have no idea. And I literally it was true. I literally sat there with a picture of Angelina Jolie in Tomb Raider for about 3 hours trying to make shit happen. And I mean, my policy is I shake all the time. So, like, I got good tools, and it did not work. And I was like, okay.
Proof that it's not a choice.
Yeah, no, I mean, real proof. Like, when I said, like, I was born this way, it wasn't like, I wanted to disappoint Elon Musk, who, when you talk about us not wanting anyone harmed, I don't want him harmed. I would just like him to go to Mars and hang out there without us. You know.
Colonize it with himself.
Yeah, just with himself. But it was like after I got divorced, I was like, this is like really disappointing. Because, no offense, DisCo is almost always women, actually. And we invited Ryan because gender is fluid. And for this episode, I thought it was like so important to have, you know, a man on stage with us, especially a gay man in New York right now with the violence that everybody is facing. But I was so disappointed that I had to continue to, like, you know, tango with men because they're so tiring and so difficult. And I know all these dope women who would be such a better fit. But I looked at Angie and I said, Angie, and nothing. So I'm divorced and it's complicated. How about you? Are you in a relationship right now?
Absolutely not. I'm totally single and I'm available and would love to have a boyfriend at any moment.
And
but that doesn't mean that I take anyone. I just need everybody to, like, we're allowed.
You have high standards.
We're allowed to make choices.
You have high standards.
You know, yes.
As you should.
I say that I'm single and looking in all of my shows, but sometimes that leads to people in the lobby being like, me! And I'm like, that's not how this works, darling. I was getting paid up there. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Ryan, I am an excellent yenta. I am a very good matchmaker, and if you would like me to make you a match, I am happy to catch you a catch.
Okay. That sounded like a musical lyric.
It was Fiddler on the Roof, as Palestinian women are known to sing because we love Jewish people. We just hate supremacy.
Absolutely.
Period.
Wait, I just need to call back to when you said it's complicated. Did you care to elaborate on that, ally on the panel?
So I was married this one time, and I got married in my Jesus year because I had spent $28,000 on my friends' weddings. I wanted to make my money back. So Ryan said something really, thank you. Ryan said something really important, which was don't settle, or it's not like, okay, whoever. Yeah, I was like, fine, let's go. And that's how I got married. And so then I got divorced, and I was like, I will never get married again under any circumstances. But yeah, currently, Jenny, my other assistant, will say I am not in a relationship, and I will agree with her.
I beg to differ.
Ariel thinks I am in a relationship because she answers my emails and text messages. And those are always really fun. But
can you tell me after the show?
We'll chat. We'll chat in the green room.
I'm so curious.
I'm going to show you. My personal life is private because I'm afraid the Mossad will kill him if they know that he loves me. So, but the person I'm with is so different than the person I was married to because my ex-husband was a dementor. I know we shouldn't mention that super evil woman who created them, but I've looked for other examples. This man sucked joy out of every room he ever entered, and now I have like a super hot party in a box. So like that was my gift from God, I guess. But I'm not in a relationship because I'm willing to date anyone else in the world other than him because he's poor. And like good people don't care about that. I just told you already, being disabled is very expensive, and I'm choosing to stay alive, which costs a lot of money. So if someone with some sort of banking or financial stability background would like to be my partner instead of me constantly dating refugees under siege, I think that would work out like a little bit better. But no. Ariel is completely wrong. I am 100% single. My mother will be watching this full hour because my mother doesn't believe I have a job.
Right. Yeah, she's so single.
So single.
So single.
Ariel was making funny jokes.
If there was someone who is a banker and someone who maybe is in your texts and emails right now, would you be interested in a sort of non-traditional setup?
No. So I'm weirdly traditionally non-traditional, which means I will never get married again, but while I resemble Cher, I will never fucking share. I can't share. I can't share. There's no way. There's no way. I see these like polyamorous people who I supposedly respect because I respect everyone's choices. And I'm just like, nah, I'm accidentally killing you and ending up on oxygen snapped. Nah, I'm way too possessive. There's no way. And also, I mean, there's so much involved in what's happening right here that no one could handle more than this.
Okay.
I'm like the lost Kardashian without the surgery. Okay, we really want to give you all time to ask questions. Jenny, do you have the microphone to run around the audience? All right, big round of applause for my other assistant, Jenny, who just got accepted to NYU's musical theater program, and she's going to be a big star, and she's going to write a musical where I play Ryan's disappointed mother.
Can I be your sister? They just confuse all of us brown people together anyways.
Ryan will be, I am the disappointed mother of Ryan. I'm disappointed because he's dating you while he's clearly gay and should be true about this. Ariel will be singing like a bird in the background.
Okay.
And the musical will be called Crip Face. Like Scarface, but us. Okay. We only have 10 minutes. We want to give you all a chance to ask questions. So raise your hand, and Jenny will briskly race towards you. Please ask a damn question. I don't need your comments. I don't need your coming out story. I don't give a fuck. This is the time in life. Sorry, Ariel.
We're rolling with it.
It's been an amazing day because Jenny hangs out with me all the time, and she knows that, I'm gone. I'm way gone. Ariel has only ever seen the good side of me, and today she's like, what's even happening? You can ask us anything, and I also always say that, disabled people are always being stopped in the street, and people are like, can I ask you something? My daughter has a disability. No, you can't interrupt us in our normal lives. This is the time. You can ask us anything. It does not have to be disability related. You can ask about fashion, love, my cat Beyonce, Ryan almost falling off his chair, and me going with my startle reflex to catch him, whatever was happening here. You can ask us.
Shivered. That's all.
You're shivering. It's nothing. They turned off the heat. Right, my batter's on, damn it.
All right. Questions?
Who has a question?
Don't be shy.
Right there. Here we go.
I'm going to come in hot. So I'm curious, as a queer disabled person, what are your tools or tips or tricks for either self-pleasure or pleasure with others, like accessibility things? Like for me, I prefer rope bondage. I tie my legs down to the bed so I don't kick my partner in the head. So it's too much for a t-shirt. But what are the things that you do for self-pleasure or pleasure with others, like tips and tricks while engaging in pleasure?
I'll start and then I'll pass it to others. I think that you have to treat that the same way that you treat everything else in your life, right? So if there's accessibility stuff that you use to shower, it might be something that you apply to your own body, but it's all about, number one, figuring out what feels good to you, and then figuring out how do you safely do it to yourself. And if something that feels good to you, is not something you can say, then you start looking into the accommodations. How do I do this with it? And it's the same way I approach how I eat, how I bathe, how I drive. I approach it the same way.
Yeah, I would love to piggyback on that one.
Oh, you want to piggyback? I bet you they have stuff we can use.
I'm not into straight girls. That is something that some people like, but
Not you.
No, but just that is exactly what I was going to say. And I, as someone who became disabled a little bit later in life after I was already out as being a lesbian, I was really pleasantly surprised to learn how many accessible toy options there are. And you have to be able to communicate what your body can do all the time. It's no different in the bedroom.
Right.
And the one thing that I'll say is, some lesbians like strap-ons. There are thigh strap-ons. So if that is something that's more accessible to you, then you can do that. There are so many different types of toys and tools that you can use, even if they aren't even advertised as sex toys. They might be something that will help allow you to be in whatever position you want to be in, and you just have to communicate with whoever you're sleeping with. Everyone should do that, whether you're disabled or not, whether you're gay or not, but I think that when you're disabled, it's even more important.
Ryan, go ahead, Erin.
I wanted to throw in something that I had to do because of my, what did you call them? My OSs, my diseases or whatever. My OSs, yeah. I think it is so important for people to, I had to do pelvic floor physical therapy. That is a game changer for women for sure, but really any person that has a uterus, is to better understand how all of that works and how your life experiences impact that part of your body, and being able to recognize and speak to that yourself, because it makes such a difference when you're communicating with whoever your partner is. So that's my tip.
And Ryan, you wrote an entire show about accessibility and accommodations and disability. Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, yes, all my shows have sex in them, to varying degrees. And
live sex on stage?
No.
Let's do it, man.
Storytelling sex.
That's the way.
Storytelling sex, no full nudity. But I think the thing that I've learned off stage in the bedroom, in this only really, everything is different for every person. And hi, I know, we're friends. But so your preferences and interests might be very different than mine. But in terms of how to, the sort of general access that I have discovered over the years is that I need to be able to know that I have control at any moment. It's not that I need to be a dom or I need to be controlling, but if somebody is literally restraining my whole body and I feel trapped in some way, or that I couldn't get out, or that if this goes sour, I'm not safe, then I don't want to do that. So particularly that means fully laying horizontally on the bed with somebody's entire body weight on you or something. If they're not supporting my legs, if they're not supporting my hips, but they're just it's all about them and they have no consideration for me and what I'm feeling, then this is not the person. Goodbye and good luck. And what I enjoy, whether or not I have to teach someone this or they figure it out, is that if they know, it's better if he has back support, and they help me to achieve back support, or let's try this position in a different way where you have more flexibility and balance, even if it's not as good for them or whatever, it's better for me. So I've learned to have to prioritize my comfort in order to then experience pleasure, because if I'm worrying about all this other shit, there's no way that I'm going to be able to achieve an orgasm, much less keep an erection, because I'm so preoccupied.
I think Mackenzie said it again. It's about communication. You just gotta and that should apply to absolutely everyone, regardless of ability. We need another question up front.
Hi,
Okay, back then front. Yeah.
I'd like everyone's thoughts on the following thesis statement.
Oh.
As a person with a disability, being bitched at on public transportation is the ultimate sign of inclusion in New York City.
Oh. Is the ultimate sign of inclusion.
Everyone's looking at me because I mentioned that. I guess
he's right.
that is hilarious. What my initial immediate thought was, if someone is bitching at me because, like my example of the bus was held up because the bus operator couldn't use the lift because I need it because I'm in a chair, that upsets me. But if you're just bitching at me like any other New Yorker because someone's in the way of where you want to go or like whatever it is, that is inclusion. Because I'm like, yeah, okay, I was in your way or you were in my way. That is so New York. But if someone is, what's offensive is if they try to push my chair without asking or if they like coddle me or whatever. So yeah, I kind of agree, surprisingly.
Nice. All right, we got a question up front. We want to catch up.
Hi, y'all. Thank you. I work at a college, and my job supports, in part, students with disabilities and LGBTQI+ students, and I'm trying to start some affinity groups, including an intersectional affinity group for queer students with disabilities, and I'd love to hear some ideas for what we might call that group. I'll ask students as well.
DEI is banned in this country. ICE is gonna come and get you right now, and that kufiya ain't helping your case in any way, rainbow or not.
Names for your organization. I don't have them, but I just want. Do you want Rainbow to be in it? Is Rainbow cliche? Is Rainbow 2010?
Rain Crips?
Do you want Rainbow?
Crip,
Do you want
Crip the Rainbow?
Crip the Rainbow.
Rip the rainbow.
You could call. Wait. Call them Quips.
Quips.
Q-U-I-P-S.
Quips is cute.
Nice. Quips is cute.
It is like there is the toothbrush quip, but I feel like still, I like
We
it.
can take it.
I think it's better.
Yeah.
For your use, it's better.
All right, we got time for one final question. In the back, and she's raising her hand hard. They are, sorry for identifying. By the way, I see 1, 2, 3 Kofiyas here, and I'm just so proud of you all for putting yourselves at risk for us, so thank you. Ask me.
Hi.
Or them, whatever.
This is for everybody. I'm a
Okay.
disabled actor, and I've only seen 2 plays ever that have had disabled people on stage in a show that I wasn't a part of. The second one was Ryan's last show, and the first one was All of Me that was on off Broadway last
yes.
year. What were your first experiences seeing a show where there was a disabled person that you weren't involved with it?
Okay, I'm telling everyone I'm going last, and Jenny film it when I go.
Oh my God. Yeah. I didn't see a disabled person, that wasn't me, on stage until Jenna Bainbridge was in the ensemble of Suffs. Yeah, which was literally like last year.
Nice. What about Nessa Rose?
Well, then I saw her as Nessa Rose, same person.
Same person. Yeah. I hated Suffs. That's why I bring up Wicked.
Again,
Anyway.
same person though. So
Same person.
You want to go? Okay. My stock answer for this is always Ali Stroker in the ensemble of Spring Awakening, but I feel like that wasn't necessary. Maybe it was true. I feel like that was the fall of when I moved to New York, so that might have been true. But I'm also thinking about all of the disabled actors who I saw off Broadway in smaller productions with like Theater Breaking Through Barriers, or Greg Muscala has the Apatite. Like there were people, there certainly were, but Ali was the first on Broadway, and just to see her move with everybody in choreographic numbers, sometimes being centered for the wheelchair and sometimes fully just existing in the tapestry, that was so powerful. Because when I was in high school doing shows, like if I was not a supporting character or a leading character, they would have no idea what to do with me in the ensemble, and I would just be like off to the side against the wall while everybody else is doing the hoedown. I'm talking about Oklahoma. Which, but so to see choreography that was integrated and incorporated a brilliant, beautiful performer and her wheelchair was like such a formative thing for me when I first got to New York.
I was really racking my brain, and as far as live shows go, like I have never seen a live show with a disabled person in the cast. Yeah. I know.
I see it.
Well, I mean, if you're talking Broadway, there've only been 2 Broadway musicals, Ali Stroker and Jenna Bainbridge.
And
so the 2 that
Strooker's been in like
the 2 that we've mentioned.
Yeah.
So-
Right, and I'm thinking...
And they're both white women, very talented, but just period.
Right, and I'm like...
Madison Ferris did Glass Menagerie, but still.
Yeah.
Madison Ferris.
Okay, I didn't
Did
see
Glass
that one.
Menagerie.
I used to do Glass Menagerie in high school. Okay, kids, this is how the show ends. So I'm 1,000 years old. So the person who should have been my first disability icon example was Jerry Jewell. Jerry Jewell was on The Facts of Life, and she had cerebral palsy. She was groundbreaking. However, I looked at Jerry Jewell and I was like, yeah, I don't identify as that at all. I identified with Mary from Little House on the Prairie. So, first of all, the show is about glorifying, settling, and killing indigenous people, and I was like, this is my favorite fucking show ever. Then it was the first disabled characters I was ever exposed to. And Mary became disabled. She got scarlet fever and she went blind. And she got really, really angry. And so I was like, I should be mad I'm disabled. And I got dark. Then Mary went to a blind school and she fell in love and she married a guy named Adam. She was not LGBTQ as far as, being public about it, but she might not have told us. I don't know. Anyway, she marries Adam. And Adam is also blind. And now I'm like, oh, no. Now I not only have to find a Palestinian to marry, but they have to be palsy. This is going to be challenging. Then Mary and Adam have a baby. Does anyone know what happened to Mary and Adam's baby? It burned to death. And then I was like, disabled people, especially gay disabled people with the same-sex partners, should not be parents because they burn their babies, so obviously we should not. Then Adam gets caught in a fireworks explosion, and he gets his sight back. Now remember, these are my first disability influences, so I run up to my parents, and, well, I limp quickly, and I'm like, should I blow myself up? And they said no. And so welcome again to the DisCo. Thank you so much. Wait, time out. I refuse to end because Ryan was literally looking at me like a cartoon of a disabled child like this.
No, there was just something I was having trouble tracking.
Which was?
It was when you said gay people should not have kids.
No, I
Because
said
you said
disabled
Mary
people should not have kids, especially disabled gay people. Like the people who are like supremacists, they don't want disabled people to have kids, but especially not disabled gay people. Like Pete Buttigieg having kids is bad. Amputated Pete Buttigieg, way worse.
Okay. Okay. I was just really trying to connect this back to Little House on the Prairie. So I was like, wait a minute, you said the girl wasn't gay.
I was with you, Ryan.
Yeah, I was there too, but yeah, no.
She was a violent settler, and we object to that. Okay, so in all seriousness, let's give it up to my incredible panel, Mackenzie Gomez, Ryan J. Haddad, Ariel Bridges, and another round of applause for our beautiful interpreters from Vindman Barber, Women Led. And also, I will end by saying this. The world is broken, but we can fix it. Please do not self-censor. I know everything is absolutely terrifying, but we have power in numbers. Use your voice against injustice. While we sit here proud to be gorgeous disabled divas, we need to stop the mass disabling of children, men, women, and those who don't identify as anything. We need to stop it. So please use your voice to stop having your tax dollars be used to kill, and instead let's use them to uplift. Thank you so much for coming to the DisCo. I am Maysoon Zayed. Thank you.
مسكين حشومي وحساس غتشوفيه فارس احلامك ومعاه حياتك كملات وملي غتحل عينيك غتلقاه